even when Jesus was born, okay, it's not like, because, God could have had him with a little kid ministry, okay? He could have been like 10 years old, just going preaching the gospel, okay? He had that ancient word in his belly. He could have been, but still, Luke 2:52 says he increased in wisdom and stature. There was something that even the Son of God, because he took on human form, he needed to increase in his wisdom. He needed to increase in solving complex problems. He needed to increase in being empathetic and understanding people, but not being compromised at the same time. He needed to increase in that because you took on human form. You're in a new role now. I need you to increase in wisdom and in stature. The pride in what you think you know is preventing you from what you absolutely don't know. I'm gonna say that one more time. The pride in what you think you know is preventing you from what you absolutely don't know. You know just enough to cut people off when they're trying to give you good advice and tell them how you do things over here. Meanwhile, it ain't working, by the way. Meanwhile, it's not working. But you will do you understand people do this? You will cut off a master while they're talking to you. So you could throw in your amateur strategy that ain't working. It's ridiculous. But it's pride. And what you think you know is preventing you from hearing the solution from what you absolutely don't know. Okay? So there's humility in this process. Here's what I want you to understand. That the pursuit of the knowledge that you're going to need, I'm going to break down the 3 categories that you're going to need it so that you can be set up for success. Because we know that he says, my people perish from lack of knowledge. Perish from lack of knowledge. So don't perish we don't perish because you don't love us. We don't perish because my mama said I wasn't going to be nothing. We don't perish because I grew up in the hood and I wasn't born with the silver spoon in my mouth. We perish from lack of knowledge. This is the beauty about that scripture. It says, but because you rejected the knowledge. This is what's bringing curses onto your children's children, is that when I try to present to you better, you reject it the better. Why? The pride in what you think you know is preventing you from what you absolutely don't know, and you're rejecting the knowledge. The foundation of this lesson is pursuing your knowledge has to be intentional. It's a hot pursuit. It's a strategy. It's a game plan. It's a pattern. It's a part of your day. You have to be in hot pursuit of learning and growing in all of the areas of your life. It's intentional. Let me show you how intentional it is. Most of us know, right? King Solomon was the wisest, richest man that ever lived. The reason why he was the wisest and richest man that ever lived is because God came to Solomon in a dream and he said, you can have anything you want, you choose. What is it? What would you like? And Solomon said that he asked for wisdom. He asked for understanding, that he wanted to be able to steward his role well in the kingdom. And this is what he asked for. And because he answered and had his heart posture right, God said, not only will I make you the wisest man, but I'll also make you the richest. Okay. Very powerful story. But what I want to bring you back to, because this is what most people don't know. When I say knowledge is intentional, look how intentional he was set up to respond that way to God in his dream. Proverbs 4:3-5. It says, when I was my father's son, tender and the only one in the sight of my mother, he also taught me and said to me, this is in your same Bible, okay? Let your heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, exclamation point. Get understanding, exclamation point. Do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth. So you're telling me when Solomon was just a young boy, this thing said I was the only one in the sight of my mother, meaning that I was getting all the attention. Okay, it was just me. His daddy was telling him, get wisdom, get understanding. David the king, who was a screw up just as much as he was righteous, told his son, get wisdom and get understanding, because you have to be more concerned with knowing the truth over what you think your truth is. And this is one of the things that makes this scripture true, which is train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he will get older, he will not depart. Because David told Solomon as a young boy, get wisdom. I mean, explanation point, get understanding. Because he told him that as a young boy, when God came to him and said, what do you want? He just recounted the thing that his father always told him to pursue, which is understanding, which is wisdom. Because he says his dad says, do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth. This is like saying, if you don't do anything else, get wisdom get understanding. Because if you have that, then everything else will go smooth. One thing I can say about David, and you can go back and read the life of David and you'll see it for yourself, is David never went to war with anyone without getting God's permission first. He would always ask God first. Should I do this? Should I make a move? Should I attack? He would always ask God first. And I always thought that was powerful, that even though he was king, he knew where his power lied. He knew, this is the same little boy that killed a giant with a slingshot. He knew, okay, my covenant is the most important thing that's going to secure my victory. So my covenant partner, which is God, let me make sure he's in agreement with me coming up and attacking against this. The reason why I say that is that even though David had his mess up and he had Bathsheba and all the things, some of us have done all the things, but in all of that, he knows that his wisdom, that his strategy comes from God. And he knows that in order to secure your victory, get wisdom and get understanding from God to secure your victory.